When you win all your games in your group, it's good for your confidence, of course. You need that to grow in the tournament, and I don't really like it, to be fair. I'd rather have longer games, but that's not a secret. I prefer how longer, how better, because the other games is only like sometimes 10 minutes. I really can't call that a game, is it? A game needs to be an hour. Now on the big stage, 1.5 hour, 2 hours. That's a big game. Me and Rob Thornton, we always have a great game. I won that game 10-5, but it's always a difficult game against him, and you need to fight for every leg because he never gives up, so you need to concentrate yourself constantly and make sure you don't make any mistakes. Me and Brando, we played each other in the group, and I play him tonight again, and I'm going to prepare myself exactly the same way I also did in the group. In the group I played really well against him, and I also need to do that tonight. He's a slower player, so there's a different preparation than against a fast player, but I'm not doing too bad. At this moment, I won all the Sky events, and of course that's an honor, but I'm not finished yet. It's not about getting a clean sweep or anything, it's just about winning this Grand Slam of darts.
Michael van Gerwen proves he is the best player on planet darts. Van Gerwen is still the boss in Blackpool. It is delight in Dublin for the Dutchman.
Grand Slam champion 2015.
I am MVG. I am the man to beat.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to the Civic Hall, Wolverhampton. Welcome to the quarter-final stages of the Singapore Grand Slam of Darts. Brought to you by the Professional Darts Corporation. We are live on Sky Sports, and at this time, we welcome the millions of viewers joining us around the world. It's time now to meet the quarterfinals. Ladies and gentlemen, at round 3 finals, the winner of 5 PDC ranking events. Time to meet the history maker, Brendan Darla! And it's now. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here he is, the reigning world #1, the reigning and defending Singapore Grand Slam champion, and the former champion of the world.
Michael Van Gerwen against Brendan Dolan, best of 31 legs. Both wanting to flex their muscles ahead of the World Championship. This little fella on your screen is going to be busy over the festive period, so are we as well. Christmas is coming, and the Sky Sports Stars channel, the World Championship, gets underway the 15th of December. And both these players, Wayne, will want to flex their muscles ahead of the Worlds.
Yeah, especially Michael. Let's be honest, he'll start odds-on favourite for, well, near odds-on for that tournament. And the way he's playing is going to be tough to beat. And Brendan has just got such a task on. They played each other in the group phase. It's just the way the format works out. If they both get through and meet each other in the quarters. And as you can see, he lost to Michael 5-1. On that premise, Michael should get to 16 when Brendan's on, say, 3 or 4 legs. I think Brendan has got to adopt the attitude of, do you know what? I think I'm going to get a bit of a tonk in. I'm going to enjoy it. If he plays anywhere near his top form, he'll probably get to 7, 8, 9 legs. But at least he'll make Michael work for it.
Cheers, Wayne. John Clark, Nigel Pearson in commentary.
Game on! Thank you, Dave. Yes, the quarter-finals about to get underway here then. They did meet in the group stages, both in Group A. Michael winning 5-1 on that occasion. But what about Brendan's performance to really pull off a fantastic comeback against Gerwyn Price in the last 16? 4-0 down, 5-1 down, took out a 160, took out a 157. And you do get the feeling that it's going to have to be that type of form if Dolan is going to get anywhere near Michael Van Gerwen tonight, John.
Yeah, he'll have to play like that from the start, and hopefully his scoring continues. We know he's capable of a pretty good standard, but it's not normally between 100 to 110 range like Michael normally is, and that's just on an average day. So really there's not much room for error for Brendan Dolan in this game, as we see already.
Yes, 9 darts from Van Gerwen, and he's looking at a finish now. Dolan a mile behind, so could be an 11 dart leg to get us underway for MVG. Hits the treble 20, needs double 18.
78.
Not ideal. He would have liked to have seen that through, even though Dolan's not on a finish.
Well, I guess Michael's no Danny Noppert, but he started his match there last night, what, 6 for 6 or 7 for 7? I'm only kidding, of course. Michael Van Gerwen the best, but double 4 he needs now.
14.
4 missed darts and a double for Michael Van Gerwen.
Yeah, and here's a place where a 2 treble and double finish would serve Brendan Dolan perfectly. Yeah, he really knew he had a chance there, shaking his head as soon as the first dart flew too high.
Yes, double 2 for Van Gerwen then. Gets it that time. It took him 6 attempts to take the leg. He gets it. He's annoyed though. Nothing wrong with his scoring. Could have been 11 darts, but then 5 missed at a double from Michael Van Gerwen.
98.
Sensational!
One round 40.
Van Gerwen looking for a big score. Going about it the right way as well. That's the first 180 of the match. His 15th on the Grand Slam of darts so far. And now putting some pressure on Brendan Dolan.
Very much so. Michael with 5 big trebles in his first 6 darts, and Brendan with only 2. And now only 2 in his first 9. So Van Gerwen 70 ahead plus these. 75 ahead. 215 ahead. And this is against throw. So we didn't paint a very pretty picture for Brendan Dolan tonight. And the reality of it in the early going here is exactly that. It's ugly for Brendan.
41 he needs then. 9 for double 16. 2 darts in hand at the double.
25.
Well, 7 missed darts at a double now. Dolan not on a finish.
7 missed darts at double, and he's still got 102 average. How does that work?
Yeah. Double 8. Van Gerwen. That time, no problem. First time of asking there. He's 2-0 up. It's a break of throw. Beat Robert Thornton 10-5 in the last 16, MVG. With 103 average.
80.
Fourth appearance in the quarterfinals for Van Gerwen as well. We recall 2 years ago when he was beaten by Kim Huybrechts. Still averaging 104. And he was the loser in that game.
100.
The release of MVG.
Brendan with a bit more of a stab, a shorter action than Michael. Michael gets that full follow through, where the elbow almost snaps back the other way once it's a full extension. And I believe that's the best way to throw. Certainly works for Michael.
60.
Can't find a treble Dolan, so Van Gerwen now looking for the best finish possible.
96.
On his day, of course, he can take out any finish, but has to be said that 7 missed darts at a double so far. I'm being told that for 16-0,
60. Michael will require 100.
the bookies are offering odds. Now 12 for double 16 here. Van Gerwen 3-0 up. Convincing, and that was more like it at the finish as well with a 104. 3-0 to Michael Van Gerwen.
$60.
10-1 for 16-0. The odds. Doing a disservice to Brendan Dolan there this early to call that, I guess, but Van Gerwen 3-0 up, and still with those 7 missed darts at a double as well, John. It could have been even more convincing.
Well, yeah, but the point about the 7 missed darts at double, Brendan not really in a position to try and exploit the misses, so that's where you can fault Brendan a little bit. You know, he needed to be scoring a little heavier so he could take advantage of a miss or two. And the best chance he had because of a miss was to get a 2 treble to double out shot, which is not really a very good chance.
55 ahead here with the darts. Can he hit the big number? Not big enough. Well, a real opportunity for Van Gerwen now. Two treble 20s from Michael Van Gerwen. Could we be on the verge of seeing him going 4-0 up? Dolan always knew the size of the task,
60.
but not doing himself any favours.
Well, another indication that his head might not be quite right is he's throwing quite fast. And
134.
Brendan does throw and perform better at a slower pace than what he is throwing them now. You know, he's caught up in the moment. I mean, this is a Herculean task ahead of him, and his concentration just isn't
60.
there.
Michael will require 101.
Yeah, he's scraped through on occasions in this tournament. This, by the way, is his first quarter-final. Double 12 for Van Gerwen, and again he drops short, and the doubles are starting to annoy him now. Dolan's on a finish. It's a man who is capable of the ton-plus finishes, a 160 and a 157. In the last 16, double 8 for a 136.
120. Michael will require 12.
His first dart at a double. Seemed to have done the hard work, didn't he? Double six for Van Gerwen. Thank you very much indeed. 4-0, easy as you like.
Yeah, you're quite right to say, Brendan, he's capable of those outs and just about had it there. But if that's the best opportunities he's getting, how can he possibly win a match when it's first to 16? Just not going to happen. Needs to get his scoring going better and soon.
60.
Yes, he does. He needs to get a leg on the board quickly. Brendan Dolan.
100.
Always felt confident that that last dart would hit the treble 20. The way the darts were lying. Just that one dart at a double for Dolan, but not brilliant for Van Gerwen, but doing enough.
Yeah, well, the key on that stat there isn't the percentage, it's the number of opportunities. 12 to 1.
Second 180 for MVG. 16th in the Grand Slam so far. By the way, in the previous two quarterfinals that he's played here, Michael Van Gerwen has hit over 20 180s in those two quarterfinals. Double 18 he needs. And we go into the first break here at the end of the first session of this quarterfinal tie. It is all going Michael Van Gerwen's way. He leads by 5 legs to 0. Welcome back to Wolverhampton Civic Hall, where Michael Van Gerwen is giving us a masterclass of scoring power. He has raced away into a comprehensive 5-0 lead against the history maker. Van Gerwen 5, Brendan Dolan 0. Tells its own story. And still to come tonight in our second quarter-final, Peter Wright and Phil Taylor. That comes up after this game. Friday night at the darts here in Wolverhampton. Good crowd, enjoying themselves. Been queuing outside for quite some time in the cold, the strong breeze around the West Midlands today. And it's Brendan's throw. And John Part alongside me here in commentary. Brendan needs to get a leg on the board quickly.
Well, yeah, and I think one reason why is Michael's going to be ruthless here. And that's the kind of scoring. He needs 2 trebles a turn or more, so he can be right at the end of the leg the same time as Michael.
134.
Michael with a similar score, so keeping the pressure on. And I was going to say, I think, you know, Michael's normally the feature act, if you will, these days. And now he's the opener for Peter and Phil. And he might want to try to make up for that here and make a point by putting on an ever increasingly good performance.
Well, Van Gerwen so far, if you have just joined us, has taken out a 1-2-1 and a 104 finish. Only the 2 180s and 5 and a bit legs. Dolan in his first ever quarter-final at the Grand Slam, his first TV ranking quarter in a couple of years. But he won't want to leave the Civic with a heavy defeat, as it is looked like it is going to be in the early stages here, because Dolan has to take this out, or it could be 6-0. Now, treble 18 would leave the bull. Bull he needs to get his first leg on the board.
129.
No, 2 high finishes missed. And Van Gerwen looking to punish with double 16. That's not much help.
31.
So here is a genuine opportunity, a good opportunity for Brendan Dolan.
The crowd are urging him on. They want him to get this leg on the board. 2 darts in hand, double 16 is the target. Yes, Brendan Dolan is off and running. He needed that all right. Crowd clearly love the underdog. And here comes Michael Van Gerwen, who will not be a happy man. 5-1 and not happy.
Yeah, we were talking about Michael had a 180 in the last leg, and you mentioned the 180s, and none for Brendan. And the point is, in his top 16 match, he had 7 180s. So his scoring has not continued on from that match.
95.
It looked a little better, though, in that leg than it had been in the first 5.
Yes. Van Gerwen's finishing is below his best. Still remarkable that despite those stats at the double, he's averaging 106. That's what he's all about, isn't it? Point scoring prowess.
Yeah, well, if he hadn't, that Premier League in Aberdeen, if he hadn't missed doubles, he could have averaged like 190 or something, I think.
Yes, I did that game. Won't forget that for a while. Treble 19 for the ball. Dolan a mile behind.
60.
Yes, the biggest point of all the comedy about the missed doubles and the high averages, the point is, if you do score very heavily, you put yourself in a very favorable position to win matches. Double 6 it is.
60.
But he'll be back. It's turning into a real grind for Michael on these doubles. And there's a lot of match left, so he's going to be pretty grumpy if he doesn't figure it out soon.
85. Michael will require 12.
Double 6, double 3 for Van Gerwen. Is he going to bust it?
The score. Brendan requires
Well,
136.
not the perfect performance from Van Gerwen. Now, can Dolan take this out this time? Gets the first start. Another one would do nicely. Here before in 2011, 12 and 14. Dolan. Another missed double. Another missed double. Gets it that time. He's just doing enough, isn't he? And a wry smile from Brendan Dolan. But Van Gerwen leads 6-1.
Well, Michael smiled too because it was a lucky kiss in. I don't think it was going in. Kind of had a very fortunate ricochet, shall we say.
Fortunate deflection. But even with all the frustration, he's 6-1 up.
96.
Brendan just not playing well enough to really put any significant pressure on him.
And Brendan, he's brought his pace back a little bit, slowed it down a bit. He was going way too fast for how he plays in the first segment. I know people that think he goes a little too slow anyway are wincing when I say that, but it suits him to play at deliberate pace. Gets his best results.
Yeah, whatever it takes.
58.
Better.
99.
Dolan, a former semi-finalist in the European Championship. And to get to the quarterfinals here is a satisfactory achievement, I would suggest, but
59.
Wants to do better. Well, can he leave 90 with the 180? That answers the question rather nicely, doesn't it? He's going to be back for a break of throw for 7-1.
And all those match 180s are Michael's.
43. Michael will require 90.
Now, which way is he going to go? He went ball for tops. Tops, and it's 7-1. So that is now a third break of throw for Michael Van Gerwen. Almost halfway to victory.
96.
Still looks frustrated. Is it because, John, I wonder, as a former player, you can comment on this, Current player, of course, but not playing tonight. Let me get that right.
Oh, you can't defend me, don't
No,
worry.
I remember the World Cup. I loved it. No, John, as a player, is the fact that Van Gerwen isn't really being pushed by Brendan maybe one of the reasons why he's not at his glittering best tonight?
I wouldn't say so, and I think Brendan was playing more Michael's pace in the first 5 legs when the doubling problem started, so I wouldn't say it's definitely that, Nigel, but it could be a little bit. It might just be he's off the doubles tonight. He's got to get on it. You're not always perfect.
Well, starting to really struggle here, Dolan. But John, I've noted with interest you've still been having a throw throughout the week. Kill a bit of time during the day.
95.
Rubbing shoulders with Jeff. Enjoying it?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's always fun. Well, it's part of the daily routine. To throw some darts, and it's good when you have good company and a good player to do so with alongside.
Yeah, Jeff Smith was certainly a great addition to the Grand Slam.
53
for the ball.
Brendan require 104.
Now here's a nice opportunity for Brendan. And he certainly manages these on a regular basis, so let's see if he can summon one out. He needs the treble still. Just can't find it. He's on either side of it.
56.
9 for double 8. Can he nail the double first time? Here we go.
Game
That time. Well, in cruise control, 8-1 Van Gerwen leads. Halfway to the finish line. One treble. Steady ton for Brendan Dolan.
You have that big lead, the 7-leg lead, and you feel like you've almost won the match, but he is only halfway. And that might be part of it. There's a distraction to Michael, and you just want to get to the line. You feel like you're going to win for sure, but you just want to get there.
125.
Brendan's had his moments. Beat Barney at Blackpool, didn't he? Nice 10-40 from Van Gerwen. Starting to look more determined. But yeah, good win at Blackpool for Brendan against Barney, and a real hard-fought victory against Gerwyn Price to get to the quarterfinals here in Wolverhampton. But is this a step too far? That's what the signs are. It could be just one step too far when he comes up against Van Gerwen.
Yeah, I think Brendan has had a real resurgence in his game this year, and I was pretty, I guess, almost shocked about how much he struggled in the round-robin phase here, but he did get through, so that showed his class to get through, but it was a lot harder than I thought it might have been for him, because he really has been playing very well lately, and a lot more of that showed up against Gerwyn Price.
Brendan require 116.
Down the board. Treble 19 would leave tops. He's hit the treble 19. One dart at tops here.
76.
Well, a real opportunity, not for the first time, for 9-8 for Van Gerwen. For 9-1. That time, it's another break and throw. Michael Van Gerwen cruising here at the Wolverhampton Civic Hall against Brendan Dolan. We'll be back in a few moments with more Grand Slam darts with MVG turning on the style. Back here at Wolverhampton Civic Hall, it's the first of the quarterfinals, and Michael Van Gerwen is hitting the big numbers and is really romping away with this one, the first quarterfinal against the Northern Ireland man, Brendan Dolan. So far, a fair reflection of the way the game has gone with the scoreline. Van Gerwen leads Dolan by 9 legs to 1 and a first to 16. And still to come tonight, It's Peter Wright and Phil Taylor. That comes up after this quarter-final, and we're back with 2 more quarters tomorrow night from 8. Well, Van Gerwen hasn't been at his vintage best at finishing, but nothing wrong with his scoring whatsoever.
57.
It's not been a Van Gerwen masterclass, John Part, but he's done enough. He's done enough.
Well, yeah, his scoring's been very good. There we see his doubles. He's missed 20 darts at double, so that's not too much like our world #1 on most days, but the sheer number of opportunities is very much like him.
His average now at 97. And the turntable tells its own story as well. That's what I mean by the fact that he's doing enough, Van Gerwen. So this for a holder throw. He would love to go above the ton average, I'm sure. Tournament average before this game, going into it, was 100.08. Averaged 103.2 against Robert Thornton in the last 16. Van Gerwen currently at 98.
Yeah, out of the first 10 legs, there was probably only 3 or 4 Brendan Dolan even had a chance to win. So Michael having it really all his own way, as reflected by our scoreline. As reflected also by Brendan Dolan not having a finish, with Michael sitting on a double.
Wobbly arrows there as well. Stayed up. Double 18. Can he use that as a marker? Yes, he can. Still needed 3 darts to see it out, though, but 10-1. Who am I to argue? Needs 6 more legs, Michael Van Gerwen, to reach the semi-finals of the Grand Slam of Darts here in Wolverhampton. Big weekend ahead. Huge weekend ahead. More quarter-final action from 8 o'clock tomorrow. Van Gerwen really stepping it up now. The reigning champion, of course, Van Gerwen. In a tournament that's been dominated by Phil Taylor, 6 times champion. Van Gerwen once, Van Barneveld once, and of course, not forgetting the brilliant BDO star Scott Waits in 2010 against James Wade. Marvellous comeback.
Yeah, Michael absolutely blitzing Dolan here on Dolan's throw. Should be getting an attempt, you would feel, for an 11 or 12 dart leg. Maybe even a 10 if he gets 3 trebles. No, that won't happen. But a concerted effort here to try and break the Irishman.
Just wonder what's going through the mind of Brendan Dolan, because I know he's been feeling pretty good going into this. Oh,
85.
He'll be back for double 10. So yeah, Dolan has been preparing nicely. He's been happy and content with the way the week has gone, but 10-1 down now, and the possibility of 11 here. First time of asking. That's ominous for Dolan, because Van Gerwen, if he starts hitting his doubles at the first attempt, this could be over pretty sharpish.
Well, first attempt on that turn. Yes, he still missed a few. Yeah, he might set a record for darts at double in this match. Normally he's more efficient.
If he does start hitting it with the first dart.
I say that in jest,
of course,
before everyone tweets me or something.
Look at this, plenty of room in the middle, but well, 140 will do him nicely. World Championships getting underway very soon. 15th of December at the Alexandra Palace, the World Darts Championship, live on Sky Sports Darts channel. Looking forward to it.
104.
Did well there, Van Gerwen, as you would expect.
Yeah, now I get it. That's the look he just gave, but does well the pressure here because, well, Michaels has been missing, so you just don't know. It's a good job by Dolan. 2 darts for tops. This occasion, he gets it the very first dart he has at a double. And you sort of have the feeling, Nigel, that had Brendan always been on a double, that Michael probably wouldn't have missed too many at all.
Yes, that was my point a little bit earlier, John, but maybe because he's not being pushed to the limit. That's why he missed a few of the doubles, because he wasn't under any pressure. But look at him here. I just think now he wants this done as quickly as possible. And probably so does Brendan.
Yeah, I only hesitated to agree because normally he does like to play for a big average, and you do have to hit the doubles to get those.
Well, he's up at the ton mark now. He's gone to 100.06, Van Gerwen. Brendan's starting to step it up with his point scoring, 9 ton 40s.
But in this era of Michael Van Gerwen, number 1, I think his idea of a big average is 110. To him, that's what makes him happy. 100, he says, well, okay, I did my job. And no one can argue with that tonight so far.
No, he's doing his job, absolutely. And here's us, or me, picking faults. Because he is such a fantastic player.
Well, I'm sure he's thinking thoughts that are far more critical than anything you can come up with. He wants to perform. He's an artist as much as a competitor.
Who am I to criticise, John?
100. Mark will require 98.
Treble 18 would leave double 12.
58.
Now a chance for Brendan here to get a second leg on the board. The fans, the crowd, they want him to do this. 14 would leave the ball. There's the target. Second time in the match he's missed that. And you would expect Van Gerwen to punish him here. That's a nice marker. There you go. 13-1. 3 legs away. Van Gerwen now from the semi-finals here in Wolverhampton. It's getting hard on Dolan now, John, isn't it?
Yeah, he can't approach the dartboard any longer thinking, well, I'll get back in it or something. He just has to play darts, enjoy the moment somehow. He should enjoy the fact of who he is and that he's a professional. He's in the quarterfinal of one of the biggest tournaments in the world. There's a lot of pluses here. Okay, it's not a fun match to be playing scoreline, but there's a lot of people who'd like to be in his place.
Yeah, when you say a lot of people who'd like to be in his place, you mean the quarterfinals of the Grand Slam. Not necessarily 13-1 down, John.
Well, if you had to take one with the other, yes, I'll take it.
Okay.
Why not?
Good point. It's nice from Dolan. Now for a second leg and a break and throw. It's all consolation from here, of course it is, for the history maker. Oh, he's hit 9. He needed the 12 bed.
And no consolation in that, is there? I was going to say, it's one of the few times he was lower in score as well when he went to the board on an outshot opportunity.
41.
We haven't really even talked about Michael getting a high out here in any sort of context. But this for 14-1, a 16 for tops.
84.
Brendan Dolan, this is your moment. for a break of throw and a second leg. Go on, Brendan. Biggest cheer of the night for Brendan Dolan. We go into a break and an ironic smile. Fair play to him. This game moves on. We will reach a conclusion here in the first quarter-final when we come back in a few moments. Can afford a wry smile because he knows it's virtually a lost cause, but he's just managed to get a leg on the board at the end of that last session. Mighty Michael Van Gerwen leads here by 13 legs to 2. And the second quarter-final of the night, Peter Wright against Phil Taylor. That comes up after this. A dominant display from Michael Van Gerwen, not at his best at the doubles, but John Park on target to equal the biggest margin of victory in this tournament.
Well, quite correct. 2009 final where a certain Phil Taylor beat Scott Waits by that same scoreline, 16-2. But our scoreline's 13-2. And Brendan,
58.
he's actually been in at the end of legs and having some chances and winning some legs. So you don't know that that's a record Michael might get or not.
Back up above the ton average now, Michael Van Gerwen. He wants this done and dusted, doesn't he?
And he can actually shatter the quarterfinal margin of victory record by a leg.
First 180 for Brendan.
Start talking about records and 180 start hitting everywhere.
Well, let's keep talking about records then.
Yeah, well, that margin of victory was 16-3 by Phil over Michael Smith in the quarterfinals. So Michael can actually have that all to himself.
137.
Well, no. Yes, he could.
Nice bounce back from Van Gerwen. Two-guard combo for him, unless Dolan can take this now.
Yeah, it's rough when you need a 12-dart leg to hold your throw, isn't it?
Harsh.
86.
Very harsh. 20 for tops. He's gone high. Double 10, one dart in hand, and he's missed it. To win a second successive leg, Brendan Dolan. Consolation. Yes. Two straight legs for Brendan Dolan. It's 13-3.
So Michael, 2 180s in the leg, and he can't break Brendan.
Yes. Only another 13 legs, Brendan. Well, this is nice from Dolan. Such a likeable character, and the crowd showing a little bit of support for him here. But look at Van Gerwen now, switching down.
139.
Not much score there, so the pressure back off Van Gerwen. He's go for the 19s. He can go back to the 20s once he gets the odd one off there. Doesn't get any trebles though, so the thinking didn't matter. The thinking always matters in case, just in case it goes right. And it goes right about 95% of the time with Michael scoring.
Yep.
85.
That's better from Van Gerwen. Can he fill it up?
135.
Starting to look a little bit agitated and frustrated, Van Gerwen. For Brendan Dolan, he's just restoring a little bit of pride. I do agree with what you said, John. Getting to the quarterfinals of a A major tournament like this is a terrific effort in itself. But the more legs he can get, the better. Tops for Van Gerwen. He's going to be back as well for that. For double 10, I should say. But he's going to be back anyway. Dolan not on a finish.
Double 10 it is. Double 5.
15. Brendan, you require 75.
Well. Could this be a third straight leg for Brendan Dolan? 18 would leave Tops for 3 on the spin. Oh.
55.
Now Michael Van Gerwen has missed 30 darts at a double. Double 2. Making it hard work. Doesn't look that way from the scoreline, but 31 missed darts at a double for Van Gerwen.
With a 98.5 average for 3 darts. It's insane.
60.
Only 60 for Dolan, so Van Gerwen's going to switch for the treble 19s. Worked beautifully! Peter Wright and Phil Taylor standing by, remember, for the second of our quarterfinals. 2 more tomorrow night. We start at 8.
Well, you bring up a good point, because I bet they were probably ready to go just about now, but things have slowed down a bit, and Brendan's not going to go quietly or quickly. So, you know, the nerves might be tingling downstairs about now.
Peter Wright and Phil Taylor. He's up next. Nice from Michael Van Gerwen. 7 180s now. That's 21 for the tournament for MVG. Right, 90 needed to go within a leg of the match to break back for Michael Van Gerwen now.
Well, 1 and 2 double 18s.
66.
That didn't pan out, but he managed to get to a double. Brendan could go for 25 to leave 36. He attempted that, but only got 8.
20. Mercury required 20.
He's had chances, Dolan. Michael Van Gerwen is within 1 leg of the semi-finals here in Wolverhampton now. Interesting acknowledgement towards Brendan there. Raise of the eyebrows.
57.
There's the reaction towards Brendan. Something tells me that Van Gerwen is just a little bit irritated by his lack of success at the doubles. 8 180.
Michael's probably still mad about the leg. He had the 2 180s and he didn't win it. That was a nice leg by Brendan to hang on.
He's probably thinking this should have been over 10 minutes ago.
No matter how good you are, they still make you go up there and win 16 legs.
1 away, Van Gerwen. Well, I'm sure in the cold light of day, plenty of reflection on the Grand Slam, Brendan will be relatively satisfied. Place in the quarters. It's turn 40 for Van Gerwen, waiting to pounce.
Yeah, it's too bad, Brendan. His action's been very firm, nice strong darts, and he wasn't doing that at the start. You just wonder what may have been for him.
For the match, double 6.
66.
Well.
Yeah. Maybe he should have bust there. Now he's coming back for double three. No need to. But I think you're right. He's anxious to get it all over with.
I think so, yeah. 34 missed darts at a double now, Van Gerwen. But he's 15-3 up and averaging 99. Double three for the match.
Free score.
Wow.
Brendan, you require 121.
This sport, this game, whatever you want to call it, it can humble anybody. Even in a win. It's 20. Well, it's double five for a 1-2-1 finish to stay alive.
6-3.
Nope.
Good darts. Good darts. Just missing the finish. Double one to see the job through now, and finally Michael Van Gerwen sorts it. Well, it was scrappy at the double for MVG, but maybe that's picking faults. Brendan Dolan's had a great tournament, getting through to his first quarter-final here at Wolverhampton Civic. But Michael Van Gerwen is confirmed as our first semi-finalist. Still to come, Peter Wright and Phil Taylor. That'll be coming next.
It was always going to be a tough night at the office for Brendan Dolan as he took on the reigning champion, mighty Michael Van Gerwen. Never troubled, never tested. Dolan with just the 3 legs celebrated every single one of them, but Van Gerwen wraps up a comfortable win. Demolition job in the end, 16-3. He's through to the semi-finals. Up next, Peter Wright against Phil Taylor. And the winner of that match will be against Van Gerwen. Also, the other half of the draw, Gary Anderson, Barney, Chris Dobey and James Wade. They'll be sorted out tomorrow night. Michael Van Gerwen's talking to Rod Studd.
Michael, well done on reaching the final. On the face of it, 16-3 sounds like a very, very good win. What are your reflections on it?
Of course, 63 is a good win, but to have a great game, you need to have two good players. And to be fair, he didn't really put me under pressure this game, and it was like I had to do just continuing the same to win this game. And I'd rather have a bit more action in the game, and this wasn't really what everyone in here wants. But it's nice to win like that.
Is it hard to average 110, 115, 120 when it's too easy to win the game? I don't want to sound too rude, but it was easy for you.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with rude. He just said to me straight after the game, Sawyer, but I didn't give you a game at all. And then it's really hard to concentrate yourself. I know what I can do, and I was a bit too relaxed. And you shouldn't be like that, but he made me do that because I was so much in front. If it was closer, you wouldn't be in that mood, and you wouldn't be in that position.
I daren't tell you that you missed 37 darts at a double, and I'm sure you won't do that in the next round, where it will be tougher, won't it, obviously, against Phil Taylor or Peter Snakebite Wright.
Yeah, of course, it's two fantastic players in the next semi-final over here, so I'm looking forward to already my semi-final on Sunday afternoon, and I feel good, I feel confident. I need to practice a little bit more on my doubles, but I will be all right.
I'm sure you will. Well played tonight, Michael. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
He's happy. You get the feeling he just cruised through that. Hard to get motivated when Brendan Dolan really didn't deliver tonight. 37 missed doubles. The story of it, really, he needs to be better than that.